Yes.
That's right.
Darn tootin'. Roberto.
Ricardo.
Supernatural fans, welcome. The San Diego What a year last season was, Robert.
What a season. What a season.
Turns out you're God.
Turns out. You go to bed a writer, you wake up God.
Must be nice.
It is kind of nice, actually.
It's good stuff. Good stuff, everybody. Wow.
Well,
and more fun in store.
Season 12.
Yeah.
On the way. Are you ready? Well, let's meet some of the folks.
Let's do this. Let's dive right in, shall we?
You know, our first panelist, he's so respected by the Supernatural writers that they even named one of the show's most beloved characters after him. Please welcome Demon number 5. Bob Singer!
Bob Singer, everybody. There he is.
Here he comes.
He's the best seat in the house.
Right next to where the comedy happens.
Right next to us, guys. Where all the winners sit. Oh, big congratulations go out to our next panelist. He's finally made it to the top of the ladder, Robbie.
Yeah.
He is the showrunner and head writer of Supernatural. This is his first season. We're a little worried that maybe it's going to his head, though, because we've caught it through the grapevine that when he makes notes on a script, instead of just telling the writers to their face, he has a tendency to throw the script on the ground, leap on his desk, and scream, "You got dabbed, bitches." Seems a tad over the top. We'll have to find out if that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Dabb!
Andrew Dabb, here he comes. It's Andrew Dabb. That's Andrew Dabb's theme song.
That's the slow saunter of a man running the show. Nothing but time.
Welcome, Andrew. The next guy here, he's a man whose unwavering devotion to winter headgear, even in the scorching summer months, has led the entire beanie industry to collectively respond, "Really? Mr. Jared Padalecki!"
Put on the hat, put on the hat.
Put on the hat,
And the beanie sales spike. Next up, a man whose career was launched, you may not know this, with his pivotal role on the soap opera, The Bow-Legged and the Beautiful. Ginger Nichols, everybody!
Next to the stage, a man whose fanciful quirkiness is only offset by his grounded oddness, Mr. Misha Collins.
Security can't stop.
And that is not it. Our next guest is a sinister overlord who relishes making life hell for all living creatures. And on TV, he plays family. Nobody knows how to ruin a woman more than this guy. Stay on stage.
Shepherd.
Ladies and gentlemen, Supernatural.
All right, let's open it up to
Get into there.
the questions.
Robbie, first question. You?
I'll take the first question. Bob and Andrew, we can all agree that season 11 was pretty epic. You had the darkness.
I got.
And God. That was pretty huge. And now the darkness is gone. So where do you go from there? I mean, how can you get bigger than God?
Other than cast somebody over 5'7" to play him.
Oh, that's true. It's fair.
That's spitballing.
5'6" and 3/4.
No writer.
You don't get bigger than God. This year we're
we can't top all that. So we're going to try to get back to basics a little bit. Tell little smaller stories, because I don't know how you get bigger than God in tomorrow. So some good old-fashioned horror stories. We've set up the British Men of Letters. They'll be part of what we're doing. The first part of the season, you know, we still got Lucifer out there, so there's a hunt for Lucifer.
Wait, that's really bad.
The guy that's replacing you, Mark. Just as an aside, at least once a week, Mark Shepard talks to either Andrew or myself and says, are you killing me yet?
It's a dream.
Yeah. One of these days we're going to say yes just to really make him squirm. Not yet.
Thank you.
Well, we can't wait. So it sounds like smaller stories this year, bringing it back to family. It's exciting. It's exciting stuff. I've enjoyed your answer, Mr. Singer. My next question is for Jared. How are you? How are you, buddy?
Good. Thanks, Robbie.
Okay, so at the end of last season, left you in quite a pickle. You were, you were shot, and I only watched the scenes I'm in, so maybe I missed something. But are you dead?
So, as we saw, you missed the promo, yeah?
He had a call.
It was just on.
He had
I had to do a quick thing.
Thankfully, Sam Winchester is alive.
You owe me $20.
I owe Rob $20. I thought you were.
Because he's not a lose Chester.
You know, that bit,
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
that bit worked so well last year. I'm glad you like that.
I figured I'd double up. Yeah, so Sam's alive, and we see a little bit of what happened to him. Thank you. I'm happy to be alive as well.
So, who is the woman who shot you, and why did she have a funny
So
accent?
we find out more about Lady Tony Bevel. She is a member of the Men of Letters, but the British Men of Letters. We find out more about the Men of Letters and their worldwide society, basically. We'll learn more about what she wants and what they want for themselves and from Sam and Dean and for Sam and Dean in the episodes to come. But obviously, she and Sam didn't start off on the right foot.
Oh.
From the looks of things, from the promo, that you must have had something really important going on.
I had a meet and greet with Richard.
Got it. Yeah.
It's called Pokemon Go.
There's like a legendary Pokemon up here I just found. No, they.
That's right.
We see that they're not off to a great start.
Yeah, no, that is
Why?
Totally told them that.
What happens?
blow torches and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Indeed.
Good times.
2 to 3.
Rich, why don't you take this one?
Jensen,
Present.
family. It's always been a central issue in the show since day one, but you definitely see it coming back in big ways with the return of your mother. So, my question for you and for Jared: how are the boys going to respond to that big reveal? Because that is substantial to have that connection brought back to the show.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, it certainly changes a dynamic that we haven't, or presents itself with a dynamic that we haven't had in quite a while, or ever. The interesting thing is that when Mom left, Sam was a baby and Dean was a
You're a baby.
child.
You're a child.
It's funny, as Dean grew up, but Sam just got larger.
Larger than God, some might say.
Well,
It's okay. I'm okay with it. So I need you to be okay with it.
so there is, the children that she knew are not, they're now men, and so the relationship is kind of non-existent because there isn't one. And so it's gonna be an interesting situation of them trying to bridge that massive gap that occurred over the past 30 some odd years. But then it also brings into question, you know, how is she going to plug herself into their lives? Is that going to leave the brothers vulnerable? You know, for the longest time, that's really been the way to get to either one of them is, you know, you trap or you make one suffer and then the other one comes running. So now there's a kind of a third element in the mix that could potentially, you know, leave the guys vulnerable, and situations might arise because of that. I will say that just, you know, personally, it's great to have Samantha on set. She's a wonderful actress. So, you know, selfishly, happy to have her back. I don't quite know where it's going to take the boys. That would be a question for the bosses here. But I'm excited to see what happens and for the journey to begin.
Well, I'd really love to get her perspective on this.
Samantha Smith, everybody! Hello, Samantha. San Diego, Samantha, San Diego.
Sam is both a wonderful actress and a good person, so her presence on the set of Supernatural has completely changed the dynamic. There's no one that is either a good actor or a good person in the rest of the cast.
I think it may have changed the balance on this stage.
It's gonna be weird now.
So Samantha, to you, family, you're meeting the boys, you're re-encountering your sons, you didn't know their fate. This is a strange journey for Mary, I would assume.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider. Being dead, you know, now alive, with a big gap in the middle. My sons are now older and taller than I am. Yes.
And handsomer than Sam Smith?
No.
Are you
handsomer than we used to be, but she is obviously more beautiful than the both of us combined.
Yeah, right.
That didn't cost me that much to make him say that. But I've always loved Mary, and to be able to experience her from a whole different perspective is incredibly fun for me. And to not just be passing through as a ghost or something like that is actually really fun, just really interesting. It could go anywhere, so I'm having a good time with that.
You know what's fun to me? One of the things that Supernatural has been so uniquely able to do is to really explore both sides of the equation, whatever the equation might be. And one of the things we deal with a lot is family, obviously. We've had the wonderful Bob Singer say family don't end with blood. We've had additional members of the family who are neither human nor blood related. And so it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how somebody who is our blood, 100% our blood, we've got a half brother, we've got our father for a little bit, but she's our mother, legitimately. So she's related, but we find out more about what family means and how you become family. And it's not necessarily just blood. A lot of times it's pain, it's triumphs, it's everything in between. And so I think exploring that dynamic between two brothers, but now two sons again. And not sons, you know, Sam always had an issue with John. For obvious reasons probably, but he dealt with it and Dean had a different relationship. But now Sam and Dean with their mother are kind of starting anew. So it's like finding out you had a half brother or something you never knew, which I guess we didn't. So yeah, 6 seasons ago.
You're gonna have a hard time.
7 seasons ago, sorry, it's been a
You're
while.
gonna have a hard time drawing a scenario that hasn't been
Exactly. Like finding out you're best friends with an angel.
So it's going to be fun to explore that dynamic about does blood make you family, or is it more than just sharing the same DNA?
So Andrew, like follow up to you on that. Like this is your You're steering the ship this year, and obviously family is super important in this year's storylines, and even the core elements of family, because you're whittling it down to its most pure form when you're talking about mothers and sons.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at Sam and Dean's experience their mother, she's been mythologized to them. Like, Dean's memories of her are spotty at best. Sam's are essentially non-existent, so they're meeting someone who they've met in the past and who they have some knowledge of, but it's not someone they really know. And from Mary's point of view, she knows these are her sons, but it's about reforging that connection. We didn't want things to come in and be super easy. But also, she has a lot in common with Sam and Dean. She was a hunter. She was raised a hunter, exactly like they were. She walked away from it, exactly like Sam did. And as we kind of go through this part of the season, she'll be coming back into it. So it's interesting for her. It's also really interesting how Sam and Dean both respond to it. Because at the same time, what Jared and Jensen have said, this is something they deeply want. But I think they, more than anybody else, understand that family can be a vulnerability. And so I think there's some protectiveness going on there too. So it's been a really fun thing to kind of play with, and then how she impacts other people as well. You know, somebody like Castiel, for example, he knows how important Mary and the story of Mary has been in the origin story of Sam and Dean. So he has a very specific response to her, and some really kind of a very cool dynamic I think will show as it goes forward. So yeah, I mean, that was the core for us, and that's been the core of the show, is to get back to family, and this is probably the closest we've gotten back to that since season 1.
Awesome.
Nisha, what about, so you've been awful quiet. Good. What about, where does the end of last season, Lucifer was finally exorcised from your body. The Lady of Letter cast you away. Where does season 12 find you?
Season 12 picks up with Cass. I think Cass kind of has, for a long time on the show, see how I started 4 different sentences there without actually saying it?
Good, not a lot of people.
That was 5, actually. That's one of my strong suits.
6.
Cass is going to be doing a lot of that this season. That's a little teaser. It's not learning long. It's going to be awesome. It's kind of back to basics. Cass is back to a little bit of, I think, Cass from season 4. He's got his mojo back. Much of his mojo, not all of it. I think his wings are still broken. But he's angry, and he's in a fighting spirit, and he is after Lucifer. And now that Mary is back, he's also tattletaling a lot.
So how does Mary
a lot of scenes where Cass is like...
It almost reflects your actual personality then, angry and...
We do that a lot on set, too. Jared didn't hit his mark.
Misha's taking a long pause here, guys. I don't think
Jared hit mom.
he's trying his mark.
And so, yeah, how does Mary being back affect Cass? Is that gonna play out?
I think it's, yes, it is gonna play out. Well, we're having, I think that there's an interesting little dynamic between the two of us, because in a way, we're outsiders, and we are, I think, sharing something in that. And I keep on
Wait,
for
what?
Dude, he's hitting on your mom.
Good luck calling him dad.
Your mother.
Call him dad?
Anyways. Cass is hitting on Mary.
And what about your family? Are we gonna see any of your family? Your daughter?
Vicky, West.
My children. Who? They're now working as crew members on the show.
Nepotism.
You know what? Earlier I ran into an old friend who wanted to ask a question. Yeah, I wanted to sort of. I said he could. And...
Why, whoever could it be, Rob?
Hello, you crazy peoples! Well, hi. How the hell are you? Okay, we're good. What's going on here?
Not much, y'all. Here, Bobby Singer. Good to see you. Way to clock in for once.
What are you dressed as?
Oh yeah, you liking this? You like my new accessory? Guess who I am?
A pitbull?
Nope.
Rapping sensation pitbull?
That doesn't make any sense.
Lead singer of Judas Priest?
Close, but no cigar.
My pastor.
No!
Who?
I'm Mark Shepard from episode 1115 Beyond the Past.
That's right.
The one where he becomes Misha's Beach.
Right.
And look, I can make this joke. Me and Mark are bros. We're thick as thieves. So Mark, a quick question. The licking of the floor bit. Licking of the floor. The licking of the floor bit. It was a episode, damn it.
When you lick the floor.
Bob,
Oh, you followed my accent.
Bob, Andrew,
Makes you a hamsterist.
kill me now, please.
Here's a quick question. The licking of the floor. Improv? Or did you make it up on the spot?
This is what I go through, day in, day out. I was an actor. I was really happy. I was working quite a lot. They bring me in. This is what they do to me. They've done this to me for 8 seasons.
Mark, you should be glad it was floor licking. I had a hand in pitching that story, and I had it being nipple clamps. But you know what? I got damned.
Oh, you got damned, huh? Yeah.
I was on board.
Okay, well, you know what? But I'm gonna set you down.
Don't do it. I don't want to fall over. Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Girl, soft hands like girl.
Okay, but in all seriousness, Mark,
Really? You're going to follow that with a question? Okay, Rob, how you doing?
would you prefer it come from the hamster? Because
No. You go.
How about you? We're talking about family, and what about your family?
Oh, God.
Yes?
That's been a boon for you these days, hasn't it?
Huh?
That's been a boon for you.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Best years of my life. Your relationship with your mother, Rowena. Your son, Gavin. Are we gonna? How's that gonna play out? Are we gonna see?
It never goes well with witches. Well, I don't know. There's a hint that my family dynamic may be returning in a sort of slightly more expanded scale. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out, because it never turns out well. I mean, I genuinely love Ruth, but I cannot stand Rowena. But yeah, it's been fun.
Rob,
Yes.
quick question is actually more of a quiz.
Okay.
What do I like more than a bottle of bourbon?
I don't know what What do you like more than a bottle of bourbon?
5 feet 2 inches of scotch.
Oh, well, then you're in for a treat because we have Ruth Connell here, everybody.
Hello, Mother.
Hello, Ruth.
I love you, Ruth.
Family, Ruth. Ruth, family.
Family schmamily.
This is your boy you're dealing with now.
This is what I've got to work with. My wee sausage.
We is Scottish for little.
Oh, I thought it was urine. Anywho, Ruth, family storylines very important this year. You obviously have a contentious relationship. However, an important one. Where do you see it going this year?
Downhill fast.
Honesty is important.
That's it. No, yeah. I don't think Rowena knows that she's a grandmother. You mentioned Gavin. I'm not sure she's ready to be a glamorous granny just yet. We'll see how, if she finds out. It's not a spoiler, I literally don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out and to see how much we can annoy each other. Eh, Novistas?
Andrew, speaking of Gavin, do you have any plans to bring back any characters that you can talk about? Are we And see any people we know?
Yeah, we're gonna see everybody you're yelling out. They're all back. I think especially as we kind of meet some hunters, so Jody will come back, Donna will be back, Claire and Alex will be back, Gavin will be back, and anybody else we can put in there.
Oh, they're making a decision right now.
Yeah, this is it.
They're going with an audible.
Welcome to the show, Bob. He works in a vacuum. He doesn't tell me a lot.
Right. So you heard it here. Donna?
Yeah.
Sheriff Jody?
Yeah. All right.
Gavin?
Awesome.
And God and Gabriel. So,
Yeah. That's what I heard right out of the speaker. It's bizarre. But Andrew, for reals with Rowena and Crowley, that family storyline, are we going to be exploring that more deeply this season?
I think so, and I think the interesting thing with Rowena is that, she had this big move last season where she, had a hand in freeing Lucifer and had a hand in trying to put him back. And I think when we meet her this season, she's kind of gone in a different direction. This is a character that's been kind of wanted to be the power behind the throne, behind about 5 different thrones since we've met her, in terms of Crowley and Lucifer. And I think when we meet her this season, she's taken a step back and she's like, is this something I really want to do? So we're going to meet her in kind of a funny and cool mindset, but then she gets kind of drawn back into the world. And then in terms of Crowley, for him, Lucifer's still out there. He's not king of hell when we start the season. The question for him is going to be like, what does he ultimately want? In the short term, it's pretty simple. He wants revenge. He wants Lucifer. That looking at the floor thing, which was not scripted, but it seemed to have resonance. Yeah. No, it was, he wanted to do more, but we were like, no, Mark, you have to keep your shirt on. Like, it's not cool. Like, I don't know. He has his own ball gag. That was weird. But I think, so
it's very
early on, that will be a very driving force. But beyond that, I think with Crowley, the family stuff, and again, Crowley's relationship with the guys has kind of evolved, I think, very nicely over the course of the last few seasons, and we want to keep that going.
Awesome. BYO ball gag. I like that. So you mentioned Lucifer. He's still out there.
Yes.
Where, he's looking for a vessel. Can we know where he ends up? Bob?
I was so transfixed by Andrew. Well, Lucifer is going to try out a few different vessels. He's not. First of all, to hold Lucifer, you need a really strong vessel, like Sam. Like Castiel. Jensen, would you like to
Take a spin.
Jensen can veto that. It happens when you're 12. I'm not doing that. Anyway, so Lucifer is going to try out a few vessels, and the first vessel that he kind of feels comfortable with is a rock star who's a little bit on the downside, but is trying to make a bit of a comeback. And Lucifer says, "This is my kind of guy." His name is Vince Vincente. We'll be seeing him in a couple of episodes early on.
That's exciting.
I'm on pins and needles, Bobby.
Well,
have we cast that role yet?
we actually have cast that role. Well, you can. We've whispered it to you guys, so you know who it is.
Why don't you want to sing the clue?
Jesse is a friend. Lately something's changing, harder to find. Jesse goes.
We said one verse.
So it's Jesse?
Rick Springfield is going to be the new Satan, believe it or not. Andrew, how did that come about? How did he get involved, and how was that decision made?
Well, basically, we were like, we knew we wanted to put him in a rock star because, one, it's just kind of interesting. Lucifer, he got what he wanted last season. He got his face to face with God. He's kind of a dick, but whatever. It's cool. Oh, I wrote it. Sorry. But for him, he's kind of out in the world, ruling heaven, ruling hell. That lacks an appeal. And we're seeing Lucifer that's kind of on vacation. He wants to have some fun. But what he's realized is that when your name is Lucifer, it carries a certain amount of baggage. And so hopping into bodies, he kind of possesses this kind of, faded, as Bob was saying, rock star Vince Vincente. And we're like, we'd really like to get somebody to perform and do this kind of stuff. And we called our casting people, and they were like, look, you know, because this is a real role, like, you know, great actors have played this before. Mark Pellegrino, Misha, kind of. And so we needed someone that could act and live up to that. And they're like, well, if you want a rock star, like, they can sing, but very few of them can actually act. That list is very short, and they recommended Rick Springfield, who, if you've seen Ricky and the Flash recently, or True Detective, he was in both of those, and he was great. And he was kind enough to do it for us, and is up shooting, actually. His first scene was on Friday, and he's just doing an amazing, amazing job. So we're really excited for you to all see what he can do.
I mean, we're excited too. I mean, honestly, as a kid, he was one of my favorites, and I hope he comes to the conventions, because I want to rock with him.
He might steal your go-to karaoke number.
I'm okay with it.
Concerned.
If you wrote it, you can have it.
Fair enough.
Hi,
I think it's time to get some questions
Let's
from the
open it
audience.
up.
You guys have any questions for the boys? We're going to do a little Q&A from you people, because you're the reason why the show is on TV, so here we go.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming today. My name is Amanda, and my question is, in season 11, when Cass took over the vessel from Lucifer, what do you think his punishment was?
Cass's punishment?
What was his punishment? I mean, I think we saw that play out. His punishment was partly that he was inhabited by Lucifer, which is in and of itself a punishment. I think that Cass made that choice because he kind of felt like he had failed. He had let everyone down, and he was really down on himself at that point. So it was a kind of a kamikaze move, where it was a bit of self-sacrifice and a bit of self-loathing peppered in there that I think compelled him to make that choice. But in, I think, this particular instance, the punishment was the act itself. That was the punishment. And also, Sam and Dean now regularly whip him with towels.
On and offset.
Sounds like a win to me. All right, next question. Over here.
So I've been a big fan since I saw the promo in 2005, so this is amazing. Thanks, guys.
How old were you in 2005?
Ooh, I just started high school, so...
Okay, I was like, you look very young. I was like, wait a second, she was watching when she was like 5 years old.
23.
Okay, awesome.
So my question is open to everyone, and I was just wondering if, since starting the show, I'm wondering on your take on the supernatural personally, and since you started the show, if you've, for example, been camping and thought, oh wow, is that a Wendigo or something?
I'll say something funny. I haven't seen a Wendigo yet, but Jensen and I, so we both live in Austin with our families. We walked into, it was like a restaurant or a bar or something, and somebody sitting there looked at us and goes, damn, are you here to like kill ghosts or something? Like they seemed genuinely concerned. They were like, man, the Winchesters are here. There's a demon in the back, yeah. Like holding EMF detectors. We're like, we got it, don't worry, you're safe. Every now and again, I don't think anything happened to me legit, but every now and again, if the lights flicker or if it gets cold, I'm like, don't worry guys, I got it.
Yeah, I kind of figured that even though it's kind of like, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. And I feel like the paranormal and the supernatural would probably be smart enough to steer clear of two guys who have spent over a decade portraying hunters. They may have picked up a trick or two, and I feel like they're probably going to steer clear of us. That being said, if we ever do run into an issue, I feel like I could handle myself.
Cut to Jensen running, screaming.
Screaming.
Well, you heard here first.
Cut to yellow fever.
You heard
it's just a cat, Jensen. It's just a cat.
It was scary. It was scary.
For any spirits in the underworld listening today, Jensen Ackles just laid down a challenge. So there you go. Have at it.
Bring it.
Yes.
I am Fat Castiel, the angel of Doritos. My name's Colin. I'm all the way from Texas.
We do need to introduce that character. That's Andrew, are you taking notes?
No, I think
The angel of Doritos.
So I have a question, and if I'm able to ask it, if not, I have a backup question. But in honor of season 12, I actually had a very special question for my girlfriend.
Yes.
Will you come up here?
That was your question?
What does she know about the show? Use it up.
How much does she know about the show?
We've been watching the show from the very beginning, and we want to share this very special moment with our friends and family here at Comic-Con. We love you all. Thank you very much for everything that you do. And I want to say to you guys, I've loved you since the very first moment that I saw you. You are the sun that brightens my day, and you are the moon of my life. I can't think of anybody else I would want by my side, slaying zombies, and killing vampires, and killing demons, and whatever else is out there. Wendigos, those things. So, what I'm trying to ask you, I think this comes off, let's try it out. Okay. Ashley Elizabeth Rhodes, will you marry me?
Yes.
Kiss her! Kiss her!
Kiss her!
All right, get a room.
Thank you guys.
What was the backup question?
Congratulations.
I want to know what the backup question was.
So the backup question was...
man a bag of Doritos.
Thank God she said yes. That was a nail biter.
So my backup question was, for several seasons, we were trying to figure out who had the deeper voice. Was it Cass or was it Dean? So I don't know, once and for all.
Unfortunately, I think Mark Shepard takes the cake on that. He had his vocal cords surgically altered.
In all fairness, Mark Shepard also talks about 20 hours a day, so I think it's very worn down. So it's just very good.
It's definitely worn down. Can
Love.
we get a voice off?
Congrats, guys. Congratulations.
Yep, Misha and I are both seeking medical attention for just trying to keep up with Mark Shepard.
To keep the throat down here.
I haven't done my vocal warm-ups, but I'll do my best as a line that you guys know.
I'm the one who gripped you tight and raised you from permission.
Funny, he sounds like that in the morning.
How do you know? That was the backup question. I still can't work out why that was the backup question. It's like, if she says no, I want to know who had the deeper voice. How does that go together? Why? Were you going to pick one of the two of them and ask them instead?
However, it would have been funny if he was like, I'd like to ask my girlfriend a question, and he raises the box, we're like, oh no, don't do that. Because then he'd be like, oh, I was just kidding. There's just a box. Congrats, guys. Thanks for the question.
I think it's a beautiful thing when a satanically themed television show can bring people together.
That may have been one of the first wedding proposals that included talking of the people you're going to kill together. We're gonna kill demons.
I want him as one of the demons on the show. I like him.
Yes.
All right, you're right there.
Hi, thank you guys for being here. I don't know how to follow that.
You know, I'm already married.
So Jensen posted a photo for Jared's birthday. Happy late birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
And it had your kids and said you guys were gonna have, you guys are raising a future generation of hunters. And so my question is, what would you guys like that to look like if all of your kids had a spin-off? And would you guys like to come back as like a Bobby or something?
A lot of kids.
We're gonna milk this thing for all generations.
Season 23.
Yeah. That would make a good prequel. Your children. I mean,
They're already kind of a gang as it is. As some of you know, Jared has 2 sons. I have a daughter. And the other day, my daughter, we were talking about his 2 boys. And I was like, oh, are they your friends? And she goes, no, they're my boys. She's just turned 3. So we might not have a choice in the matter. They might just be doing whatever they're gonna do. And I assume that, they're gonna wanna stay in the family business.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, darling.
Hi, Moose. It's Sasquatch, your taller friend.
I know, I recognize. Yeah, you're hard to miss. Security.
So this goes for any of you who want to answer the question. What's a facet in your character's personas that you haven't explored yet, or you haven't explored as deeply as you'd like to, and how would you like to do that?
Killing billions of people.
You have explored.
Oh, right.
I will say, I think maybe either Rob or Richard made the joke earlier that there are not a lot of scenarios that we could legitimately bring up in as a future episode that hasn't already happened. But there is, and having Mom back is something really interesting for me as a person, as Jared Padalecki to explore, but also for Sam Winchester. Seeing these guys, Sam and Dean, they even though they grew up with their father, they kind of grew up on their own because their father was one-track minded. He was after Azazel, he was after Yellow Eye Demon, he wanted to exact vengeance. And so they kind of raised each other. Dean raised Sam more than the opposite, being the older brother, but they never really had a proper family dynamic as far as them being sons. We've seen these guys as heroes, we've seen them sacrificing for each other, for people they don't know. We've seen them out on their own, lone wolves, rogues. But we haven't really seen them in this position where, because even when we saw Sam, just to talk about my own journey, even when we saw him with his father, he had a very contentious relationship. It was more like, it wasn't like, oh Dad, like, I love you. It was like, Dad, like I wanna, like how dare you, Looking back at my childhood, like you put a 45 under my pillow, like that's messed up. So seeing his mother, somebody he loves and looks up to, and getting to be a boy again is going to be really interesting, and I'm glad we get to explore that.
Ruth and Sam, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. What about you? Any facets to your character that we haven't seen? Ruth?
I'd like to explore the toy boy facet.
Toy boy?
Toy boy facet of Rowena's personality.
It's boy toy in America.
Boy toy. Maybe the personal masseuse area.
Okay, all right.
La 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 la.
I love you, Ruthie.
Something like that.
Okay.
Well, I think that as Mary is pretty much anything except like the perfect mom persona. Like everything else is open because that's all it's been so far. It's just sort of cookies. And so I couldn't
Or,
make a
I'm
cup
on
of
fire.
myself. Yeah.
Too soon?
Really? Yes, it's been like, yeah. So, just being a person, a fully actualized person.
I want to see, and I think we will, but I'd like to see the hunter side of Mary. And it'll be interesting to see the similarities between what and how she deals with the supernatural and how the boys deal with it, because she is their mother, and so those kind of similarities might be really fun to explore. I think that'd be cool.
All right, young man. Last question. You own it.
Oh, no.
No pressure.
No pressure.
This is about the fan fiction episode from season 10. Is it based off of real fan fiction for Supernatural?
It's a great question. Andrew?
It was not based off a specific fan fiction, but I think it was based off a lot of things that we're aware of from our fans on social media and things like that, where you guys are great. And that episode was really kind of a tribute to you, and I'm glad people liked it so much.
This has been a fantastic panel. Gentlemen, parting words, final thoughts?
Go ahead, Bob.
This is a giver. No, I think our only parting thought was I don't think you ever get into a year 12 if you don't have incredible fans like you people out there. And not only with the ratings of the show and all the support, but that you encourage us to keep making the show as original as we can, and to not retread storylines and not sit on our laurels, but to keep the show fresh. And I think, to get up every day, especially for me, being here from the beginning, and to try to do that, you have to draw inspiration from the fan base and what you guys expect from us. So, we think season 12 is a great testament to you, and we thank you for that.
Well said.
Well said.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Supernatural season 12. Stay in your seats, there's good real coming, and join me in saying goodbye to Bob Singer, Andrew Dow, Eric Padalecki, Chris Neville, Peter Allen, Mark Shepard, Sam Smith, Ruth Thompson, Rob Benedict.
I'm Rob Benedict.
I'm Richard Spate. Thank you, San Diego!
It can hold Lucifer.
It? It's not me, Sam. It's Cass.
And Cass wanted to do this.
Yeah, well, there's times I want to get slapped during sex by a girl wearing a Zorro mask. I don't make it a good idea.
Hey, Phil, what's my motivation?
Do I get a trailer?
Forgot my first word.
Cass wanted to do this.
Yeah, and sometimes I want to get slapped in the face during sex by a girl with a Zorro mask. This is terrible. Sometimes I want to get slapped in the face with Zorro and a girl during sex. Times I want to get slapped during sex by a girl wearing a hockey mask if I'm in Canada skating around like jazz hands.
What does it have anything to do with this?
What is the line?
It's not from Zorro Mask. Sometimes
That's what's throwing me off.
Sex by a girl wearing...
She's in my head. Is that your ass or your stomach? Or your stomach?
I think it's en route to my ass, probably, but it was my stomach.
We should hurry this quick. He's got rainbow suspenders.
So what? So do you.
How dare you? Have we made mistakes? Yes. Hell yes. And we can analyze all of them. When we're what are we doing? we're at Wendy's. We're having Frosties. That's what we're doing.
When did you forget how to act? Season 2?
You want to go back to? You want the speech again? I'll give you the speech again. Well, we're having a couple of Frosties, and we're old, and we're making fart jokes. And you know what? We can analyze every single one of them. When we're sharing a Frosty with one straw, and maybe it's spaghetti with a noodle. You've seen Lady in the Tramp.
Look where it is. I can't look down because my hair falls on my face.
11 seasons of Secret Salad.
Sorry. Try that again with my ear. Your ear's a little greasy. Excuse me. Feels really weird, you know.
I like it. You're softer than I expected.
Hey, Jagles, how do you shoot this in your basement?
So can you finish cleaning up? Because I got a date.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's the?
Hey, babe. How you doing? You ready to go?
She sent this message. Ruth is laughing. I don't know why. I don't know what's funny about this. Are you ready?
Ah! Let's do what we do. Let's work. Why didn't I fish you already?
I've got that.
That's even better.